Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive. And I have a really important message for you today if you have struggled with food and weight for any length of time. Let's talk about the scale, shall we? All right, before I get into that very important topic, I want to just say if you're here at the Heal Your Hunger Show for the first time, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is a different conversation. We're not going to talk calories. We're not going to talk ketones. We're not going to talk, how to weigh and measure your food. Let's face it, you know a lot about health, you know a lot about nutrition, but what you may not know is how to follow through on what you know. So we'd like to talk about the underlying causes of emotional eating, why we're drawn to eat even when we know better. So that's the conversation we have here. If that's what you want to tune into, you are in the right place. Also, I want to say that I am super excited to announce that the next Make Peace with Food, the Make Peace with Food 2.0 is coming to town, okay? So it is going to be an epic 3-day retreat that you are invited to. I will give you details very soon. If you're in our Facebook group, you'll get details right away. You go to Facebook and just be a part, ask to be a part of the secret sauce to end emotional eating. That's where we make our announcements. That's where hot off the press news happens. Also, if you are getting our emails, you'll likely be in the know as well. So I just want to tease it a little bit. It's a really cool, incredible experience that you will not want to miss. And we're actually doing it in person as well as online this spring. So that's super exciting. Don't miss out. We have limited seats for in-person, and you're going to want to be there if you can in any way, shape, or form. But the online is going to be epic as well. So anyway, on with the show. I want to talk about the scale. Oh my lordy, hasn't the scale owned us for years? It's a fact of life for emotional eaters that we get hooked on the scale. We get hooked on weighing ourselves and wondering, like, what's the scale say now? What's the number now? And we incessantly check the number, okay? We're incessantly jumping on the scale, and it's a trap. And I'm going to be talking about why it's a trap. I'm also going to talk about a few reasons why you might still want to weigh yourself, how it could be helpful, and maybe a way to do it in a way that doesn't drive you nuts. But what I know after over 30 years of working with emotional eaters, having been obsessed with my weight in the past, and with food, and helping thousands of women with their relationship with food, what I know is that the scale is often a trap. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why, okay? 5 reasons why weighing yourself is weighing you down. So the first reason is that, it stresses us out to be totally obsessed with the scale, obsessed with that number. It causes stress, literally causes stress, which increases cortisol, and that increases your appetite, okay? It increases your appetite. It also leads to overeating. And so I just want to caution you that if you are somebody who's totally addicted to the scale and weighing yourself, first of all, I want to caution you and tell you it might be backfiring in many ways on you. But also, my experience is it doesn't really help. So that's really important to consider. Is it even helping you? Is weighing yourself even helping you to lose weight? Right? I mean, how many decades have you been weighing yourself, and how many decades have you been eating food and gaining weight and dieting and going back up the scale and hanging out in hell with the whole diet mentality, okay? So is weighing yourself, has that scale literally helped you lose weight? And you might say, well, sometimes it did. Really? Where are you now? Are you happy with where you are now? And if you feel like it is helping you stay at a good place, and that's good. The scale can help with accountability for sure, help you know where things are at. But more times than not, it backfires and it doesn't help you lose weight at all. So I want to give you another reason why weighing yourself may not be so healthy for you. And that is the focus of the number, okay? When we focus on that number, unfortunately, if we've been dieting a long time and obsessed with that number for a long time, we have diminished our self-esteem. We've reduced our self-esteem to being about that number. And that's very sad. As grown women, and maybe a few men who are listening, but as grown women, who are strong and capable and accomplished, to reduce our worth to a number on the scale is very sad. And if you think about that for a moment, would you want that for your daughter? Would you want that for your friend? So think of what you're doing. You're making your worth dependent on that number, but that is not what you would recommend for your friend. So often I find it helpful to ask, would I have my daughter do this, my sweet daughter? Would I have her worth dependent on what that scale says? Of course you wouldn't. Okay, of course you wouldn't, but take an honest look at what you're doing when you jump on the scale. Are you diminishing your worth? Are you making it about that number and forgetting all the wonderful qualities that you have? Another reason why weighing yourself may be weighing you down. This is something my mentor said to me a long time. When you give the scale the power to make you feel good, you also give it the power to make you feel bad. Think about that. You are literally saying, "Oh, mighty scale, how should I feel today?" And it works, right? Like when it tells us something we're happy about, our mood is elevated. We're all like, woohoo, it's working. But then if it tells us something we don't like and we've been trying hard to lose weight, it can color our whole day. I've done this, friends. I've jumped on the scale feeling fine and gotten off the scale and felt like total crap. Ask yourself, have you been on that roller coaster ride, this scale roller coaster ride where it causes you to feel bad based on what it says, or it causes you to feel good based on what it says? Again, are you reducing, your mood to the number on the scale? Check it out. Get honest with yourself. How well is that working? The next thing I want to talk about is that it literally, in my experience, is a trap for gaining weight. So let me explain that. When you get on the scale and it says a number that you like, okay, you've been working out, you've been trying hard, it says a number that you like, be honest here, isn't there a part of you that thinks, okay, now I have some wiggle room? This is what I used to do. And it's very subtle, very, very subtle, but I want to draw your attention to it. There's a part of us that may say, ooh, I've lost some weight. Maybe I can have some chocolate cake, right? When the opportunity presents itself. Ooh, I've got room to eat that now because I lost a few pounds. So we compensate when the scale says something we like. We feel like we have room to eat. And you may think, what's wrong with that? Well, if you're trying to lose weight, the problem is you're going to gain weight and then you're going to go back to your set point, right? So it can be a trap where if you're trying to lose weight and then all of a sudden you're compensating for those few pounds that you just lost, you're not going to lose weight. That's a problem if your intention is to lose weight. The other thing, conversely, is when the scale says something you don't like and you've been working hard and you've been working out and you've been eating clean. If the scale hasn't budged, that needle hasn't budged on the scale, guess what? Again, your mood plummets, but then you often think, what's the point, right? What's the point of all the work that I'm doing? All right. So when the number says, oh, something terrible and you've been working hard, there's a discouragement. There's a sense of failure. There's a lot of chatter in your head, and that chatter may just convince you to give up. What's the use? What's the point of all the work I'm doing? The number hasn't even budged. Okay. And I want you to really get honest with yourself about this. And so this is so important because it literally has the opposite effect of what you're looking for. And it literally, either way, can cause you to gain weight. Now, the fifth reason why weighing yourself may be weighing you down is that weighing yourself can become an addiction, literally a compulsion in and of itself. I need to know the number. I need to know the number. And if you've dieted for any length of time, you know this compulsion. Like, what's it say? What's it say? I have a friend who is so crazed around losing weight and obsessed with his weight that when he was dieting, he would literally take the scale with him. He took the scale with him on the plane. How crazy is that? But that was the extent to which he was giving that scale power to determine his worth. He had to take it with him when he traveled. He couldn't let it go. That number was so important. I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be enslaved to anything that way. And the scale can make us feel enslaved. All right? And so I really want you to check in with yourself. How dependent am I on that scale? How addicted am I to checking, constantly checking? That's no way to live. That is no way to live. So I want you to just kind of do a little gut check with yourself. And if anything I'm sharing, prompts you to look a little closer at your relationship with the scale, I'm very glad. Thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me nudge you a little bit. Now, as I said, the scale can give you accountability. It can motivate you, like it can be your motivation for continuing to eat clean if you don't let it backfire, and give you wiggle room to eat more. So those are the few cases where it might be helpful. And in that case, I would say weigh very seldom, maybe once a month. I recommend to my clients, if you're going to weigh, if you got to weigh yourself, weigh once a month. Just check in here, just keep track, on a monthly basis. Get off the daily stepping on the scale. I don't step on the scale at all. I don't own a scale. I haven't owned a scale in over 30 years, frankly. And I've lived to tell about it. And I'm thin, and so I promise you don't need a scale to make you thin, and most likely it hasn't made you thin. So there are other ways to know how you're doing. I mean, I know when I put my pants on, I can tell when they're snug. I can tell if I've gained a little bit of weight. I don't like it, but I can tell. I can tell when my pants are a little tight. That's fine. When I go to the doctor's office, I turn around. I don't look at the number. It's none of my business. And the reason why is because it's a little crazy making for me. I can get into head stuff by looking at that number. It's none of my business. I don't want to make it my business. I don't want to say, oh, I've lost 5 pounds. I can have some wiggle room. And I don't want to get all bummed out if I thought I was doing great and I've gained 5 pounds. Okay. Like that. It's head noise I don't need. And so I turn around. I just say to the nurse, please don't announce my weight. That's important because even if you turn around, she might say your weight. So I say, please don't say my weight, and that's it. And I go about my day, and my day isn't interrupted by a bunch of crazy. And I can still get crazy. I mean, I'm not cured. I'm an emotional eater who's in recovery. I've healed from, terrible, terrible binging. But it doesn't mean I can't get into some crazy around my body size and control and all that stuff. I don't have time for that. So I do what I can to minimize it. And one of those things is by not getting on the scale. So that's what I recommend, once a month at the most. Okay. But just, the last thing I want to say about this is I have some affirmations that I say because I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to get in the middle of trying to control my weight or obsessing about my weight. I really have more important things to do with my time, and what I find is the more I let go of the number on the scale, the more I let go of making my weight my business, trying to fit into a certain pair of pants and getting all crazy around it. The more I let go and the more I turn it over to a higher power, God, divine spirit, universe, whatever higher power means to you, okay? And that's a very general term, higher power. Whatever that means to you in a spiritual sense, I try to let go and let God. And I find I have so much more peace when I do that. And here's the 2 affirmations that I love. that I say. I think I made these up, and you're welcome to use them. One is God's in charge of my weight, and he's doing a great job. I don't think God's a he, but I use he as a pronoun anyway. God is in charge of my weight, and he's doing a great job. And also, my weight is none of my business. I have a little app that gives me affirmations, and those 2 affirmations are in there. Just a gentle reminder, like, get out of the management business when it comes to your weight. Focus on more important things. And the most important thing you can focus on, in my experience, around food and weight is making healthy choices, making good, healthy, positive choices, not around food only. I mean, of course, that's important, but I prefer to really focus more than anything on self-care, on reducing stress, on taking time for myself in the morning in my self-care routine. Okay, many of you know of the 6 self-care success secrets. I write about them in my book. Things that help you reduce your stress, help you get connected with spirit first thing in the morning. This is where I want to put my focus. I don't want to make the number on a scale, determine my worth. I want to connect with spirit. I want to work on being the best person I can possibly be by writing my feelings out, meditation, prayer, spiritual readings, things that can fill me up, and get my focus on the right thing, which is being the best person I can be, being connected with spirit, giving love, being of service, and being healthy, treating myself with love and respect. Making a plan for being able to eat healthy, not being too busy, not being on the run all the time where I have to stop at a convenience store for snacky foods. No, I want to focus on being in self-care, planning out how to treat my body well, how to get some, healthy exercise in, how to have the right foods in my fridge so I'm not caught off guard. These are the places to put our focus, friends. And this will directly impact our weight and our overeating. We can reduce overeating when we focus on self-care and when we slow down and reduce our stress. So that's my suggestion to you. Put the scale away, sell the scale, give it away, or tuck it away and bring it out only once a month, just so you can have some sanity in your life, so you can get your focus on the right things, so you can know and start living in the knowing that you're amazing and you're wonderful and you have so many beautiful qualities. Focus on that and you'll have a much better life. Okay, that's it. That's my message. I hope this helps. Please let me know. Please write to me at Tricia@healyourhunger.com. Please reach out if you want a healthy plan for how to follow through with healthy choices. Okay, if you want a step-by-step plan for overcoming emotional eating, definitely, schedule a breakthrough session. You can do that on my website, healyourhunger.com. I have a team of people who are happy to speak with you and talk to you about what a plan might look like for having a healthy relationship with food. And don't forget, we have the Make Peace with Food event coming up soon. Can't wait to see you there. Over and out. Love you so much.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.